Hello, I'm Stephen Collins, speaking to you from Sarnia, Ontario. And this is the video I promised to make. As the follow-up to the scale video, this is the arpeggio video. So if you're interested to know how the arpeggios relate to each other and to the scales, this will make everything really simple for you. There's not a whole lot to remember. First of all, let's talk about what an arpeggio consists of. So I'll look at my chart here. And of course, you know all of this. Many of you know all of this before, but let's talk about how it relates to the physical aspect of your playing on the violin. So if you have a scale, so do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, an arpeggio can be thought of as a scale with skips in it. Do, skip re, mi, skip fa, sol, skip la and ti, do. A note, skip a note. A note, skip a note. A note, skip two notes. Okay, so let's talk about how that would relate to your fingers. If you start on a fourth finger, the next note you would play in a scale would be your first finger. So in the arpeggio, it's going to be a 2. Skip a finger, and you're back to the 4. Skip 2 fingers, 1, 2, and you're at a 3. So just as in the scales, you always, after an octave, you always wind up one finger behind the note you started on. So if you're starting a scale on a 4, you're going to wind up on a 3. You start on a 3, you're going to wind up on a 2. Start on a 2, you'll wind up on a 1. Same thing in the arpeggios. So it's very simple to keep the arpeggio fingers straight. They'll always go even finger, even finger, even finger, back the same one, and then the finger behind. So the fingerings are 4, 2, 4, 3, 3, 1, 3, 2, 2, 4, 2, 1, and 1, 3, 1, 4. I'm going to go through that slowly because I know that for some of you this is like, whoa, what did he just say? If you start on a 4, skip a note, you're at 2. Skip a note, you're at 4. Skip 2 notes, you're at 3. Start on 3, skip a note, you're at 1. Skip a note, you're at 3. Skip 2 notes, you're at 2. Start on a 2, skip a note, you're at 4. Skip a note, you're at 2. Skip 2 notes, you're at 1. Start on 1. Skip a note, you're at 3. Skip a note, you're back to 1. Skip 2 notes, you're at 4, which is the finger behind 1. Isn't that simple? So a lot of people will have, students especially, will have difficulty with arpeggios in a certain time because they're reading notes instead of thinking of the physical patterns. If you're in an unfamiliar territory on your violin, you're a beginner or, college student or whatever, and you're having trouble with your arpeggios, think of those fingerings and it can really sort you out in a big hurry. And then a lot of this becomes intuitive. So now I'm going to play all of those 4 fingerings on a D major arpeggio, starting on a 4th finger, a 3rd finger, a 2nd finger, and a 1st finger. And you'll notice the patterns go. 1st pattern, 2nd pattern, 4th pattern, 3rd pattern. So here I go. D major. 2nd pattern, I drop this. 2nd position. Drop the 1st finger, go to 3rd position. Drop the 4th finger and go to 4th position. Okay, and then if I were to stay in 1st position and play the resulting scales, I can just go down in order. I can play D major, C major, B flat major, A flat major. So here I go. Pattern 2. Pattern 4. Pattern 3. So that's basically all there is to that. We can discuss some other things. Let's just talk about how the finger patterns appear on the fingerboard. So when you play the 1st finger pattern, you basically have this little triangle here. Well, you'll notice that if you're playing 4, 2, 4, 3, if you play the 2nd finger pattern, it's the same shape. It's just different fingers. That can be a real revelation to help you play in tune. You're in 1st position, you're in 2nd position, it's the same thing. It's this 4th finger pattern that tends to give people trouble. So let me just point out why. When you have your, if you go back to your do, mi, so thing, when you play any of these finger patterns, finger pattern 1 or finger pattern 2 or finger pattern 3, Your mi and your do are neighbors on the fingerboard in a major arpeggio. So let me show you what I mean. If I play here, here's my mi and my do, they're neighbors. If I play, I'll play the same arpeggio now with the 3-1-3-2. There's my mi and my do. Or if I play here, here's my mi and my do. This one's not practiced enough, and it's ironic, so ironic, because what's the first arpeggio that beginners learn? They learn A major or D major. Here's A major. They learn this, right? But never learn to do the 4, 2, 4, 3, right? And then when you go to do this, the second finger, their mi is here and the do is here. So B flat major, mi is here, and do is 2 strings away. It's easy to do this. Or this. Or this. But not so easy to do this. If that makes sense. Maybe I went a little too fast for you there, but in that 4th finger pattern, there's do here, mi is here, so is there, and the 1 is your do. Mi, do, way across the string there. So it does take a little bit of practice, a little bit of finger independence, but with some practice you can do that. If you like this video and you want to see more of these, more of my technical videos and other things, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if there's something that you'd like to see, and I'd be pleased to answer your questions. If you'd like a free PDF of the warm-up chart so that you can see the paraphrase of how it works. The book is 80 pages long, and you can go and look on YouTube for that about the warm-up, and I will be making other videos about that. But I'd be pleased to have your comments, and please subscribe. Thank you very much.